Hello again, I'm Bob Weir with another interview of candidates running in the March 1st primary. My guest today is Texas State Representative Tan Parker, who is running for the State Senate in District 12. Thanks for being here, Representative Parker.
Bob, what an honor. Thanks for having me.
All right, for those who may not know, please tell our viewers the difference between a legislator in the Texas House and a legislator in the Texas Senate.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, principally the core responsibilities and functions are equivalent. The real differences are the Senate candidates, senators every 4 years are on the ballot typically. Based on how things are drawn, there's a little bit of a nuance to that, but typically it's a 4-year term to be in the state Senate versus 2 years, obviously, in the state House. And then the other principal difference is the size of the area that you're blessed to represent. So a Texas House seat now is about 200,000 people. A Texas Senate seat is about 1 million people. So those are the principal differences, Bob.
Yeah. And we did just have redistricting
We did.
in Texas. So just for the edification of those watching, if you're not sure where you should vote or anything about voting coming up in the primary, you should just check www.votedenton.gov. All right. As a Texas House member for more than a decade, you were elected in 2006. What accomplishments are you most proud of?
Well, Bob, look, first of all, it's been an amazing honor to be able to serve the people of Denton County and the people of Texas all these years. I'm very, very grateful. It's been the highest honor of my professional life to be able to serve in this capacity. I've been blessed to be a part of leading many, many efforts over the years. Many firsts for Texas. One of those firsts, for example, would be I was able to carry the legislation that was the first bill of its kind in the country to protect children from child sexual abuse. That bill is named Jenner's Law, and it's now in over 25 states in this country, and now we're working to get it done in Washington. Senator Cornyn is working to get it done in the Senate and to get it done in the U.S. House. Another bill that was a first for America was my bill dealing with adult stem cells and allowing people the right to try for not just the terminally ill, but for the chronically ill. Another one of those firsts for me was my legislation in the business world to be able to create a regulatory framework for digital assets. All the things we do around Bitcoin and all the things that we do around blockchain, the Blockchain Advisory Council that is now working in Austin, were all firsts that I did, first for Texas and also many firsts for the nation. What I was blessed to do with regard to voting safety in America, in Texas, was the first of its kind ever in history of the state of Texas, when we really tried to make a difference following up on the horrible tragedy of a young girl in this area that had passed. It opened my eyes to the problem and the necessity of changing our voting laws in Texas. But those kinds of issues, being the Republican leader of the House over the years and fighting to get pro-life things done, fighting to get border security funding done. When I came in to run the caucus in 2015, it was the first year we ever appropriated money for securing the border. And so I was very involved in that fight and making certain that we addressed the challenge of our border way back at that time, and been doing, of course, that ever since. So I've been very blessed to carry dozens of pieces of legislation over the years on every topic under the sun. Obviously those that have also been about trying to provide fiscal discipline for Texas. For many years I carried legislation to have a state spending cap in the state. I'm delighted that we've now gotten that accomplished. And I'll also tell you that beyond those things, I'm proud of the fact that we've been working hard over the years to reduce taxes, to reduce property taxes. We've done many property tax buy downs over the years. We've worked on things to address the appraisal system, which needs a whole lot more work. But we've done a lot of good things on a lot of different topics, and I'm proud of our record of service working together with the citizens of Denton County.
Well, now that you've covered all the issues, I can clear this up. I think I'll have to go over this too. I think you've covered a lot of this already, most of them. But let me mention some of the issues. The southern border being as porous as it is, can it actually be secured without federal help?
Well, that's a great question, Bob. And first and foremost, we need a federal government that will stand up and be strong and be a good partner to Texas. Because the reality is that we are doing everything in our power right now within the Constitution. We need to continue to do more. We need to push further. I'll tell you that we need to push further Have the federal government put us in court. That's one of the things I talk about. Let's push and push and push and have the federal government put us in court. That's fine, because at the end of the day, there's nothing more important than protecting the safety and security of 30 million Texans and 330 million Americans. No state in the modern period, has ever put the kind of resources that we have in Texas to securing our border. Since March of last year, Bob, I've appropriated over $3 billion of Texas taxpayer money. And where's that going? It's additional manpower. It's these incredible DPS officers that are on the border every day putting their life on the line. They had no idea when they signed up for a squad car duty and responsibility here in Dallas-Fort Worth that they'd be living down on the border in their car and be in the middle of the battles that are ensuing down there on a weekly basis. We've also put it into additional equipment and manpower, and we've put here this year of that $3 billion, $250 million was buying down, the expense of building the wall, continuing the Trump wall. I think it's important for folks in Denton County to realize that under President Trump's leadership, this situation was under control. Working alongside Texas, we were great partners. We had a great partnership with the administration, and we were able to control the border situation. There's more work to be done there always. We need to continue to appropriate money. I wouldn't be surprised if we had a special session this year on the border itself before we go into a regular session, just because the situation is dynamic and it's fluid and it's changing, and we need to continue to appropriate resources and do everything in our power to secure the border. I mean, it comes down literally to the safety and security of all of our neighbors and our communities right here in Denton County and across the state, and that's why I'm proud of what we've been able to do in that regard. But I'll say this, one of the things I want to accomplish this year is to take a mock-up of that $3 billion and deliver it to Biden in the White House, because he has forgotten his commitment to Texas. He's absolutely turned a deaf ear and a blind eye to the importance of this issue. And so it's been an overwhelming problem, but we're continuing to focus on it, and we've been extremely laser focused as a Texas legislative body on making certain we address these challenges.
Yeah, I would agree, and as far as him forgetting his commitment, I don't think he ever had a commitment.
No, he didn't. Look, this is the liberal agenda, okay?
Yeah.
This is the liberal leftist agenda, which is to weaken America and to make us a socialist country. And they'll do whatever it takes to do that. Look at what they're doing in the city of New York. Now, if you can believe it, allowing individuals that are not citizens to vote.
Absolutely.
The playbook of the leftist Democrats could not be more clear and transparent.
Yeah, it seems like they're taking this country apart.
They are, in every area.
All right, I have to move on quickly, but the election integrity bill, how do you feel about that?
Well, I'm proud of the fact that we passed a very good election integrity bill. There's always room for improvement. There's some things that we need to come back and tweak next time we're in session. But the election integrity bill was a great victory for Texas. I'm sorry, for the liberals out there that don't think that you need a photo ID and have ID to vote, it's nonsense, it's crazy. As the Republican leader of the House, I fought for photo ID, and I continue to fight now for ID with regard to these remote ballots, so that obviously are mailed in, and that we have a real structure. But at the end of the day, I want people to understand this, we added more time for people to go and early vote.
Absolutely.
Okay, the president's home state of Delaware doesn't even have an early voting option, Bob.
Right, the hypocrisy.
The hypocrisy is off the charts. And so why did the President Biden and the Democrats attack Texas and attack Georgia? Well, because they have nothing else to do. Their liberal agenda is so horrible. They're wrecking the economy. They're wrecking the border. They're wrecking our quality of life with all these ridiculous mandates coming at us every day. One of the big things that I need to do going forward is to fight and push back against all of that nonsense, all of this overreach and creep from the Biden administration.
Tell us what constitutional carry means.
Well, look, constitutional carry was a bill that we passed this last legislative session. It now enables law-abiding citizens to exercise their constitutional right to be able to carry a firearm to protect them and their family without having to go through a licensing process. That's in essence what it is, Bob.
Sure. All right, you mentioned something about the property tax bills or the taxes in Texas.
Sure.
Is that being improved?
Well, no question. Look, I'm a homeowner myself, right? I'm a businessman who gives me my time to be able to serve because I've been so blessed to represent the people over the years. But I pay property tax as well. I know how bad that property tax bill is every year. And the reality is that, yes, we've been buying down property taxes over the entire period I've been serving. You know, usually it's 2 or 3 billion, maybe 4 billion that cost the overall state budget every cycle. But we need to do more there. And of course, I think that comes down to doing more with appraisal reform. We've had violations of the appraisal situation here locally lately that have been just egregious. And we've got to fix the appraisal process, one. But two, we need to find long-term sustainable ways that we can allow people to not pay this kind of ridiculous tax bill. And there are some things that we can do. You know, and one of those things is looking at, do we go more to a consumption tax model and less reliance on property tax? There's a lot of things that we can talk about in a broader discussion, but I'm absolutely focused on property tax reduction, and I've been voting and supporting for property tax reduction for a number of years.
Well, look, you sure cover a lot of issues quickly, but we are about out of time, so I just want to, once again, Representative Parker, thank you for being here and going over the issues with our viewers, and I want to wish you good luck in the election to the Senate.
Hey, well, Bob, thank you so much. It's a tremendous honor to have served the people of Denton County and the region here all these years in the State House, and I'm excited now to be their state senator, to be their conservative voice for fiscal matters, for social matters, to push back against this Biden administration, to make certain that we continue to put appropriate resource and focus on that border, to fight for life at every turn, for Texas to continue to be the most important and consequential state for pro-life, the pro-life movement in America. These are all vitally important things for the future of our state and our nation, as well as investing in our infrastructure, making certain that we're keeping Texas, the Texas that we love, as we experience tremendous growth going forward. So I'm excited about the opportunity to serve in the Senate with the people's support and God's grace. I look forward to doing this.
And for more of your responses to issues, they can check your website, which is on the written portion of this. So once again, I want to thank you, Representative Parker, and I want to thank the viewers for watching.